Info.
Nigeria Info.
This is Nigeria 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 Info.
Nigeria Info.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts. And I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.
The show up nicely with that. So welcome to the show. Trust that you're going to tag with us from now to the end of it. The show wraps up at 7, not 5 p.m., not after the roundtable. All right, 7 p.m. So make that commitment to be with us from now to the end of the show. Thank you in advance. And yes, I am not by myself. I've got Itodo.
Good afternoon, Kim.
Good afternoon.
How's your day going so far? Good?
Good. Today I was singing Steady Green Like Broccoli because I managed to lay my hands on the minted new 500 naira note.
I envy you. Can we switch? I have the old 1,000 naira notes.
You know what? Once you've gone redesign, you can't go back. Now that I've touched and felt every one of them, 1,500, 200, I don't think I want to go back. So keep your old notes.
See, I'm trying really hard to spend the money in good time before.
And you know what? Before you blink is the 31st.
Exactly.
Already.
Today's already the 19th. And we have a few more days before, it stops being legal tender.
Yeah.
And CBN has come out to say that there's not going to be an extension for now. So, I mean, if you have the old Naira notes, today is a good day. Now is a good day.
Oh, yes.
A good time to go deposit it into your bank account.
I honestly was pleasantly surprised. The particular bank that doled this out was the last bank I thought was going to have the new notes.
I'm going to go there
and
when I'm leaving.
And people kept shining away from the bank. They were going to another bank that I already know the reputation. That bank that had a POS guy stationed in front. I said, they're not going to get this new money.
Wow. A bank that has a POS in front of it? No.
I promise you, one of the big banks, major bank, like the guy is stationed like the caretaker of the ATM spots.
That's really weird, though.
I promise you. And then he sits there and does this business, and he has more queue than the bank ATM itself.
Weird.
So I was like, no way I'm going there. And then this bank was doling our money. And for 1 second, I was tempted to act like El Dagbamboshe. And Dagbamboshe was the one who wanted to withdraw 10,000 naira. And so when he saw that he was giving out the minted notes, he withdrew 70K.
What?
And I'm sure he had, what should I do with this money? How do I spend my money? I had to hold myself back.
Right.
All right, people. So the directive from the CBN is real, and it's coming with some bit of subtle threat also that banks that are not issuing out the redesigned Naira note might get in some bit of a pickle going by that.
But we still have the ATMs giving the old notes. I mean, I was telling you last night I went to one of the big banks, a major branch in the city, hoping that I'll get the new Naira note. That's why I actually went there. And lo and behold, sadly, I got the old 1,000 Naira note. And I'd already clicked the amount I wanted.
Oh,
so
man.
it was late to do anything. I just had to take the money with me.
Man, I don't take chances that way. I wanted to withdraw a second amount of money, and then I said with 1,000, I don't send the keyword in my back. When the 1K came out and I saw old notes, that's where it ended. Until now 1K you withdraw, it's okay.
I was just grumbling the whole
Let
night.
the
I'm
others
like,
stay there.
What's happening? What did I do wrong? Who have I offended? Why me?
It's not you, it's them. All right, so the Central Bank of Nigeria says it's been begging commercial banks to pick up the new Naira notes the Apex Bank had redesigned. And, we have 1,500, 200 Naira notes, and the old one will cease to be legal tender by the 31st of January. However, there's been tons of concern over the new notes being very scarce and not in circulation. And to check this scarcity, the CBN introduced different measures, including banning over-the-counter payment with the new ones, and then directed that banks fill their ATMs with a new note, but yet the problem persists, as Itodo testified.
Well,
I do not relate at the moment, but yes, that's what he said.
No, you have to split that money with me. I don't know how, but you need to be nice to me today and give me like 1,000 equivalent of the new notes, and I'll give you the old one.
I'll think about it.
Yes, please. So, I mean, there's a waiver. There seems to be a waiver. Now, he revealed that the CBN approached banks to pick up the new notes and waived conditions condition accessing the redesigned currency. Now, according to the CBN governor, he said, and I quote, "We've been calling upon the banks to approach the CBN across the country to come and pick up the new notes. We have even waived some of the conditionality for accessing currency notes to accommodate the banks." Now, the banks were being given slots before, but now the CBN is bending over backwards to accommodate the demands of the banks to service them so that they can service you and so that everybody will have access to the new Naira notes. They're also going on to monitor the ATMs. A few days to the end, you want to monitor ATMs. And
you know what? I'm tempted to take the word of a banker who said people are quick to, blame some of the banks and say they're not putting out the new Naira note. But that the big question is, why are they not doing it? That a good number of the banks do not have them, and that we should point fingers straight at the CBN. And he mentioned that the fact that they had certain conditions tied to it. I was trying to get it out of him. What exactly are these conditions that the commercial banks cannot meet enough to have this money? And what would it cost the commercial banks to exchange whatever they have? You already have a process where the monies you have, you take through the CBN and all of that.
Yeah.
He said, there's also a lot of condition that when the CBN is ready to ensure that this money is in circulation, they will do the needful. So perhaps this is the needful, bending over and waiving some of the conditions tied to it.
Well, let's just hope that this is, this was done in good time, because it's less than 2 weeks till the end of when there's old notes. And a lot of people are, guessing that there'll be an extension in good time for them to be able to deposit or keep using it. I mean, I would assume that with the new Naira notes in circulation right now, it would gradually fizzle out the old ones. So we keep spending and, putting it in and taking out the new ones. And in good time, it goes away, not giving a deadline wherein there's a bit of a panic, there's worry. Very soon, I won't be surprised, by next week, people would start refusing the old Naira notes because they'll be worried that either it's to get it from maybe whatever merchant or trader, they would not be able to give it back to anyone or spend it, and it goes to waste with them. So I'm just hoping that this policy.
No, but even at
works
that,
out.
I think the banks would definitely accept it. The thing is, most people would not, but the banks, you can dump it off on them at the end of the day. But better safe than sorry, because Nigeria, there are a lot of tall tales. So
don't wait until the final day.
Exactly.
You will be shocked.
But for the banks, for the CBN to say they're begging the banks, I want to believe that there's more to it than meets the IB. And come and take the money and put it in your ATM. And from all of the revelation, even based on what you shared, it shows that there's some stringent conditions, perhaps, that the banks have not been able to meet or didn't think it was favorable to them. And I also heard, we will penalize, we'll do this, we'll do that. Maybe the threats might,
And a few weeks ago, they mentioned the fact that the highest denomination will be in the ATMs will be the 200 Naira. But
and then they changed it.
Most of these ATMs, right? Yes, they changed it. And now they say, according to the CBN, you can load whatever denomination you want. So most times you get the 1,000 Naira notes. Most times across.
I was pleasantly surprised when I saw 500 Naira.
You're the
come out
lucky
of
one.
the machine. Yeah. I'm surprised, I promise you. But we'll see how it goes. Today is the 19th of January, and the deadline is the 31st of the month. Would get to see if Itodo will be lucky by tomorrow, and you also to find the redesigned notes. Don't forget that the governors, yesterday we talked about it, summoned the CBN governor. It's over this redesigned notes. Some people are calling for an extension. It might happen, might not. Can they twist the CBN to extend the deadline? Well, with fingers crossed, you're not even sure which one is the best call. But a lot of Nigerians that I've spoken with and a lot of experts seem to think, let's stick with the deadline, the 31st. There's something it would check if we achieve that. But if we extend it beyond now, there's that concern that the aim of it will be defeated.
Yes. Yeah. All right, you can watch us live right now on YouTube and Facebook. Simply go straight to searching at Nigeria Info Abuja. Drop your comments. We will definitely take your comments and your thoughts. That's Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. You can also share your thoughts and catch up with previous editions of the show across our social media platforms. All right, so we're moving on to the next story.
We don't have a guest, so
yes,
we're opening up the phone lines early. Let's get to the next story.
So fuel scarcity. Really heartbreaking, this one, but then it's persisted long enough. I think it comes across as Nigerians being used to it already.
No, I'm not. Maybe I'm not Nigerian enough.
Maybe you're not Nigerian. You're from Zion. But, but a lot of, Abuja especially has suffered fuel scarcity
Yeah.
for the longest, over a year now.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
I
And
recall January last year, we started off with scarcity, and it started gradually. I recall I went on leave and I came back, and the whole place was.
It's wild
Yeah.
out there. So as the petrol scarcity across the country continues to linger, oil marketers have accused the NNPC Limited of politicizing the supply process and making vain promises. Now, the oil marketers, under the aegis of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, claimed they had gotten fuel, or they had issues getting fuel, despite the assurances from the MD of the NNPCL retail, that's Hub Stocksman, in December, that they would receive direct product supply at the government regulated price of 148 naira per litre from this month. And if I asked you, how much did you spend the last time you got 1 litre of fuel? It could get as high as 350, 500, depending on the location or the part of the country where you are purchasing from. Now, the IBAN official said this as fuel queues worsened on Wednesday. Now, Akinrede added that the marketers, as of last Friday, bought products from the depot at between 235 naira to 240 naira per litre, saying that there was no way they would sell products below 270 naira per litre, even within the Lagos metropolis. Now, Lagos is getting a fair share of this fuel queue or scarcity, like Abuja is getting as well. But I feel like it all depends on the amount you're trying to buy the fuel for, because some stations who sell above the normal pump price would have less queues, but people want a cheaper version.
Well, the third thing is there are very few of the fuel stations that sell below the pump price. Even the NNPC, it's not an official statement put out by them, but then you can't get it anything less than 195 from NNPC at the moment. And so it tells you the reality of it from the independent marketer's perspective of what it takes in terms of the landing cost, where they get it from, factor in transportation to get here. I feel like it's just, there's a whole lot going on. It's not as simple as, the independent marketers are hoarding it, or it's not as simple as the government say, okay, we still have enough in stock and this is still the official pump price. We already know that a lot of factors are going to kick in. The minute government, when the Minister of Finance yesterday said, from April, we'll start gradually easing out the subsidy, naturally you should anticipate that is going to spike some reaction. It's definitely going to. You could make a statement, maybe an individual who's even running for office and his chances are pretty high makes a statement, and you find in some parts of the world it affects the stock market. That's how these things work. The minute the Minister of Finance comes out to say we'll start to do this, it literally is going to affect the chain reaction around all of this.
Yeah.
So I wasn't so surprised when I was talking with a friend today, and he said, even NNPC, that stock with the official price, has had to review its upward. There is no other independent fuel station in Nigeria that I'm aware of that sells at anything like an official price. They've all are grounded, and the ones that are selling way above it. Now, the frustrating part of this is the fact that you've not gotten a clear reason why this is happening from the NNPC itself. What you've been getting in terms of the narrative is coming from the independent marketers. So it feels like they're the bosses. They're the ones who are driving, this whole industry at the moment. It feels deregulated already, why it is not. And I think Nigerians we just need to brace ourselves for this. You say it takes some getting used to. No, it's not. People are groaning, people are complaining. But then when you're beat and against the wall, your back is against the wall, what do you do?
Now, remember in December 2022, when the reps gave NNPCL 1 week, and we saw how fuel queues literally disappeared. So if anything needs to be done or wants to be done...
Was it the DSS directive? Was it done?
The reps gave NNPCL 1 week. And in 1 week, everything was a lot better. You could easily drive into a filling station and get fuel. Afterwards, after the Christmas period, it intensified again. So it just goes to show that this might be intentional. This might be a way to prepare Nigerians for what is to come in terms of when subsidy is taking out, when it ends in June, but partially in April, what we should expect. Now, would Nigerians get used to it once it gets taken out? Of course, like we always do, would move on and get used to it. But then the issue is, how would the price of fuel, the increase, affect other things on the side? We know that salaries don't just magically increase. You have to have maybe another source of income before you're able to handle whatever expenses you might be getting. And of course, transportation would increase, food would increase, literally everything. And once anything goes up in Nigeria,
Defies gravity.
it never thinks about coming down
Exactly.
again. So
no gravity around the price of PMS. Well, it happened once upon a time, though. Jonathan's administration, it went up and then they reduced 10 naira. And people like, all right, what exactly is going on?
there's a but. Now, when the refineries start working, if they start working, as
I hate to bust your bubble. Perhaps will not go down, but maybe not spike or increase. You'll get some bit of stability. But I don't want to delude myself to thinking once NNPC kicks in, Dangote and all of the modular refineries, and if by some miracles we have, the other refineries working, Port Harcourt, they're saying, all right, a lot of money has been channeled into it and it might come alive any minute now, then the price of oil will go down. It means you've not lived in Nigeria long enough to know how things work in the country. But then we can only hope for the best. But one thing I know for sure is Nigerians are not finding this funny. And it's particularly interesting because it's an election year. We're heading to the polls in a number of days, and we have something as major as a scarcity. I feel so sorry for the presidential candidate of the APC because he's at this moment, well, only dead fish swim with the current. He's swimming against a lot of force coming at him because you just need to assure Nigerians and assuage those fears that it's going to be a continuation of setting very poor economic policies and poor policies made by the government over time. One, promises to fix the refineries. And we're seeing the twilight of your administration. That's when we're talking about, the end of the first quarter, it might or it might not, because they've shifted the goalposts a number of times. So how is this presidential candidate going to answer this double question of, can you do different from what your party has done before? What do you have in the heart that is different from, what your predecessor is doing already? And also a challenge for those who are coming in, aside from the APC, because this has gone on for too long. It's becoming embarrassing at the moment.
Well, the new normal or not, let us know what you think about this today. Let us know how much you also bought fuel. It'd be great to know if you're even finding...
Naira, why is it not in circulation massively just yet? CBN educates a lot of people, traders and all of that, reminding them of the deadline, the 31st. Doesn't look like they would shift the goalposts. They might not, but then you don't want to take chances. So go deposit the old note. But then I understand the frustration if you deposit the old note and you go back to the ATM and you're withdrawing it. It's madness. So a lot of people are frustrated by that.
It gives you what you gave it.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But then they are also charging the banks to ensure that they put in more of the new note and ready to bend over backward with some of the conditions to ensuring that the banks do that. We also do talk about the fuel scarcity. Itodo seem to think you're comfortable and you're used to it. I don't know about that. Okay, those are not his words exactly. Those are not his words exactly, so that they don't come for your head.
Exactly.
But there's no getting used to it. We talked about that and trying to understand what this means. And it just looks like we're going to take this to the polls and beyond until there's a change of guard on the 29th with the new government. How the new administration is going to tackle this problem. It's beyond me, but they have their job cut out for them, dealing with this fuel scarcity situation, subsidy, which is directly tied to the scarcity at the moment, and other factors around, the industry.
What's interesting is the fact that when you look from the outside, you feel like you have the solutions to these problems. But when you get in, you're overwhelmed by everything you had no idea about, and you're just confused. Maybe not confused, but you're just put in the middle there, and people start blaming you for not fulfilling on those promises that you gave while you were campaigning, before getting into the office. But hopefully things get sorted out, and whoever is put in charge is able to handle these issues that Nigerians are currently going through.
We have one more story to go, but let's look at your comments. There are a lot of people who are already following us on our YouTube channel. They're subscribed already, and then they get the alert that we're live, as we are at the moment. Godwin Ina Ite says, Kim and Itodo, nice having you, joining you guys. It's been a year listening to Kim. And the picture of you in my head when I listen is different. All right, good man from Guzape. I hear you. And Aliyu, what's that? Sohil?
Aliyu Sohil.
Soil.
Yeah.
All right. Like the way up here. Thank you very much. Godwin also said the digital oracle, the laughter queen of Nigeria. My best moment listening is on Fridays with Church Chooks the General. All right, good to know. He'll be here tomorrow, God's grace.
And
Let's look at more.
Someone's referring to you as Ada Zion. All right, going straight to some of your comments on WhatsApp right now. Let's hear what you are saying. My problem with the Naira policy is that 31st January is a deadline, but commercial banks are still loading old Naira notes into their ATM. I was at a bank in Wuse too, and I withdrew the old 500 Naira notes. All right, Femi from Jeremy, thank you so much for your thoughts right there. And Peter Eche in Madula says, okay, keep the good work going. Okay, great. Just withdrew the new Naira notes for the first time in central area a while ago. Sunny Umbo. Lucky you. We're happy for you. Okay, this says the banks are the problems. They keep them for specific people. Vincent from Guraka. Now, the CBN said you can only give this new Naira notes using the ATMs, not over the counter. So I wouldn't say that they're keeping it for special people. But hey, what do we know? This one right here says, I don't know if they want us to bring bond offering. Been to 3 ATMs in the last 3 days, hoping to get a new note, but alas, no luck. How is this deadline going to work? Kablingi from Gary Key. Ensure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel right now and do all to drop your comments as well. It's at Nigeria Info ABJ. Subscribe, click the bell, and that would notify you whenever we are live, so you don't miss out on what is going on right here.
We'll open up the phone lines in a bit, but just before that, Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says members who wish to get appointment and contract in his administration must ensure the party wins in their polling unit. The former vice president spoke yesterday at a town hall meeting with stakeholders and members of the party in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State, and said the PDP can only win the presidential election if the members work for the party's victory in their various polling units. And he said joining in the campaign train of candidate is not enough reason for them to get appointment and contracts. That you're all members of the PDP and supporters of the party. You want the party to return to power? Please, I beg of you, make sure you win your polling booth, he said. The fact that you're following the governorship candidate or the senatorial candidate or the House of Representative candidate or even the presidential candidate campaigns is not enough qualification that you get an appointment. It is not enough that you get a contract, whether at the local government level, state or federal. The only way, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm president, if you come and say you want a job or you want a contract, I would ask you to let me have the result of your polling booth. And that is what I'm going to direct to everybody, because unless we do that, we'll not win the election. Cannot be following the governor to places and think that's all it takes. So please, as members of our party, let's make sure we go back to our constituencies and make sure that we deliver a polling unit. Party chieftains at the town hall included Yochi Ayu, PDP National Chairman Bukola Saraki, former Senate President Namadi Sambo, former Vice President Ademola Adeleke. Ademola Adeleke, I beg your pardon, the governor of Osun State, Aminu Tambuwal, governor of Sokoto State, Dom Emmanuel, governor of Akwa Ibom State. And he got quite a lot of people talking on social media as to, oh, is this what it's about? This level of patronage, people within the party. And you guys all of a sudden want to pretend as it is strange and you just stumbled on a new discovery. But this is how it's always worked in Nigeria politics. The contract, the awards, and setting appointment go to party members who have committed themselves to the growth of the party. The other day, someone was wondering why Onoche, first it was the attempt to make her a national INEC commissioner. That didn't pull through. And then making her the chairman of the NDDC board. And we're like, why this person? I mean, how qualified? What kind of like capacity does she have that she must, if it's not INEC, then it's NNPC? Tells you how diverse is our knowledge base, that if it's not in electoral issues, it's in petroleum sector and development, as it were. But it's down to politics and how much of sweat and blood you put into the party, commitment for the party to winning at the end of the day that is rewarded. We have done this from the get-go. Doesn't make it right. But then I was surprised by a lot of people who are making it sound like, oh, the PDP is coming with something. But then in their defense, the argument, PDP has been around the longest, 1999 till date. And they have been, the longest enough to perhaps set this precedent, which is not them, because from even the Shagari time, there were concerns as to how much patronage party members get.
Now, it's one thing to work hard. It's something else to work hard and bring results. So he's just stating that you have to bring results regardless of how much work you put into this campaign. And, eventually we want to win. That's the aim of whatever party contesting the elections right now. So he's stating if you want anything in return, if you want a reward for your hard work, you need to be able to present results, which would translate to winning different polling units which you are in charge of. And some people feel like, it's a bit out of sorts. But then again, does it make sense to you that you work hard and there are no results? How are you able to show what you've done or the extent of the work that you've done? There's nothing to show and then you want a reward at the end?
Yeah, because I'm just like, people came out en masse and we're falling from one state and one constituency to another. But then you can't deliver. And we use that a lot in Nigeria, say, can even deliver his polling unit. So it's a bragging right to say, I can deliver the state. I can give you 4 million, 5 million, 10 million votes at the end of the day. So I think he's just reading the writing on the wall to saying, these people, they need to put in some work. You need to, and for me, I see it as Atiku being really in touch with the reality of things for the 2023 election and understanding. He's one that has tried his hand at this a number of times. So he's not like a neophyte. He's not new to the game of politics and trying to run for president. Yeah. He's been around for a while. He tried so hard the last time. He almost got it, but there were millions of votes in between him and the PDP. So he's saying there is the APC. As much as you think, the party is not this popular, as maybe Buhari is not getting the most popularity at the moment, is dwindled, but Tinubu is coming with something that some people will see as fresh and different, and it might give them that boost of confidence that he's capable of delivering. You don't want to undermine him at the moment. Neither would you want to do that with the Labour Party. And with the Labour Party, I mean, for a lot of people, they're still in awe as to, maybe not Kwankwaso, but others are still in awe and how massively the movement of Labour Party grew. You don't want to undermine the Labour Party, neither do you want to do that with the NNPC. So Atiku telling them, see, go and do everything to win this your polling unit is accepting the fact that it's not going to be a walk in the park.
Now, some people always wonder or assume that once you're able to align yourself with a party candidate, right, you would get whatever it is that you want, regardless of your deliverables. But then every party agent across board is promising to win their polling unit. So this is like a test. If you win, you get XYZ. Is it a good thing? I don't know. But then again, if you want something in return, you have to put in the work and be able to deliver on whatever promises that you have given them.
This whole idea of you need to deliver your polling unit for contract and appointment is a conversation we need to sit down and have. That is why we continue to put, how they talk about square pegs in round holes, that people get put in certain positions. And I'm not saying it just because of the PDP. Not fit for. I'm saying it because it's something that we've practiced and sustained to this point in time. We've normalized it. We've come to accept it as the new normal. is a misnomer. We shouldn't continue in this trajectory to saying that, oh, because this person, the only qualification that you need is delivering your polling unit, and then we give you an appointment to compensate you. It's been compensation from one government to another, and we're not getting the right people, from power to developmental issues to health to the kind of policies that we're seeing. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. We're still underdeveloped in terms of our manufacturing, still very poor. If you're looking at power and energy, it is still pretty much abysmal for a country like Nigeria with all the resources that you need. It tells you that as much as you think that we have brilliant mind, where there's misplacement of priority, we're not putting the right people in the right places, or because of political interest. It's gone on for too long. I think as a nation, we need to get to a future where we have proper conversations around this.
But that's where a shuffle comes into place, wherein you put somebody in a particular sector and you realize that they're not delivering or doing good enough, right? You are supposed to meant to shuffle them if indeed they fit the job description, because you're hoping that with a shuffle, you're able to learn new things and putting their all. But then we've seen that the same people who started at a particular point in time are still the same people who are there, maybe based off the work or the hard work they did during the elections, and that's a way to pay them, thereby making people suffer for their laxity, the fact that they are not good at their jobs or not even willing to learn on the job or maybe seek counsel from
you can't
those
give
who
what you don't
an
have.
idea.
If you don't have the capacity for the job, you can't deliver. We make the mistake of thinking, is it not just maybe like a political appointment? Yes, you have the civil servant within the ministry or the parastatal or the agency to do the job. That's not fair. You need someone who has also got that thinking cap on, who is capable of adding something beyond just being an appointee of the government and the figurehead of that. They say you're the political figure of that place. Doesn't mean that you don't best ideas or become very creative to add value to wherever you are. It's not going to be about the convoy and all of the perks and the largesse that you enjoy in office. It means you need to add something, for people to say, when this man was minister or when he was DG or when he was this, we felt the impact of it.
And will people be honest enough to turn down on appointments that they know that they cannot deliver on? That's something we need to, come to terms with. If you can't deliver on that appointment, it's okay for you to turn it down.
Well, the Prime Minister of New Zealand said, I am stepping down because I don't have enough fuel. I don't have enough gas in me to drive the country. I mean, nobody is telling her, Madam, you need to leave, or you forged your NYC certificate, or you did this, or there's any debt that we found on you. She's like, I don't think I have anything fresh to deliver. I don't think there's anything new I can give this nation. So I need to step aside. That's a New Zealand Prime Minister. And that's a fantastic country. She's done well. Her record is impressive. And to saying, I have realized within myself that there's nothing new I can add. I need to step aside. Would it kill people in this country to admit to themselves, I have run out of gas. I can't do this job.
If you're asked right now to name at least 10 persons who have resigned because they were unable to deliver on their job, you have a difficult time doing that. And that's something we need to come to terms with.
And meanwhile, I would not have a difficult time naming 50 of them who should be out the door, right?
Of course, of course. So, I mean, we need to be able to come to a place where we are honest about what we can do and cannot do. And once you've been able to achieve a fit and you feel like you're burnt out, you cannot go on doing that job, or you just feel like, you've surpassed that level, be honest enough to say, I'm done, okay? I referred this person, or maybe find somebody else who will be able to fit into my shoes and do better. There's no worry.
Let's just get to the phone line. I understand you. Let's get to the phone lines. Let's hear your take on this story.
0700 951 0000 08095 974869 and 08099930137. That's also the WhatsApp number. You can call that number as well to share your thoughts. You can tweet to us at Nigeria Info ABJ, and don't forget to also drop your comments on the Facebook and YouTube Live.
Ahmed Noura, we see you, says happy to join us this afternoon. And he's an ardent listener of Nigeria Info. Totally love the station. We love you also, Ahmed Noura. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's get to you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
The Digital Oracle and Itodo, I greet you.
You are
good
welcome.
Afternoon.
Welcome.
And I want to start by apologizing yesterday when I was making comment. I say it's going to follow all of us, including you people over there. Please, I'm very sorry for the utterance of yesterday. I'm very sorry.
Apology
I hope my
accepted.
apology accepted.
Accepted, yeah.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. I want to start by talking about what Atiku says. I remember you just made mention of Loretta Onete. We all know how she was like a thorn to the government of Jonathan, and you can see the reward being given to her. No matter how she's been rejected in so many places, and at the end she got the board member of the NNPCL. Do you people remember Hadiza Bala? They were the pioneer of bring back our girls. Bring back our girls. Then she was a chief of staff to El-Rufai. Before you know, she was the MD of the Nigerian Port Authority. So they are all doing this in order to get the reward. That is why you talk of square pegs in the round hole. We see them here in this government. Even when some people are underperforming, they still remain there and they don't change them. A minister will spend 8 years without performing anything tangible, and he still remain there. I don't want to mention the name of the ministers. Then come to the issue of petroleum. We all know that this is the government that says subsidy was a scam. They came, they increased subsidy, fuel price, they made the fuel price at the age of 87 naira. As I'm telling you, before this government will leave power, we are going to buy fuel at the rate of 500 naira. Because in some other states, they are buying fuel at the rate of 300 naira. Is building refinery a rocket science, or building refinery is going to the moon? The India that have the oldest refinery that was built 1901 still function till date. And we still have the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as the Minister of Petroleum. But look at what we are going through.
All right,
so,
Salasi.
Nigeria, congratulations to us. We should enjoy the government. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for calling in. Hello? Hello?
Itodo and Manda Kim, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Mazi Destiny Anthony.
Go ahead.
Kim, Kim, you said something that the New Zealand Prime Minister, said that that's the news. It's not like you're saying it, but I'm just trying to pick something from what you said. She said that she doesn't have anything in the tank again. She's come down. Kim, that is New Zealand. If finish our push us, just the push us they go. You understand? And that's why in this part of the world you find a leader is even Mugabe now. You've gotten to that point where everybody knows that you can't do anything, you are weak, you need to really go to attend to your health. They will still keep you there. Was it not a few months ago one African leader actually, I think he sacked the people, peed on his body while he was
South Sudan.
in the public.
South Sudan.
You understand what I'm saying? This is what you see in this part of the world. See, those of you who, you've gone to other places, you see that the reason why things are working is because people like me and you will insist on let's have a good system that works. If we continue to pick people who cannot deliver, even when we know, so that nobody feels insulted, but people that that they can't do anything, they're going to keep us in that act, they're going to keep us, stagnated, and you continue to push and keep keep saying they should go. I don't really know what is that which you are going to profit or benefit from it. I have a child. I have 2 kids. Kim, even if I want to make any decision, it's not really about me. I've lived part of my life. For the sake of your children, you should be able to say, let me right here. Let me get this right here. Yesterday, I was with somebody. I won't mention name. And the person, a few years ago, I remember the person moved from a place that is too expensive where you're take your children out from schools that are way.
All right, Destiny. I think we're having a network. Okay. Perhaps from his end.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Kodet Gangster.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Nigeria we have a long way to go. But until this religion, whatever, my own make it is here, whether it's capable or not, before Nigeria can able to take shape. You get it? Except maybe we are looking for the right leader who is going to do the right thing. Differences of religion, tribe, or whatever, where it comes from, but doing the right thing. We vote in here. Before Nigeria can, if not, we'll still singing the same music.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah.
Hello.
Knock, knock.
Hello.
Are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon. Super sweet voice Itodo and super sorry, the oracle. sorry.
It's okay. Go
Good
ahead.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, one wonderful topic this afternoon. My name is Batified Abubakar Ali. I'm calling from PW Kubwa, the unapologetic Jagabanista. You have raised a lot of valid issues that is affecting this country. But I wish all of us listening can do some sort of soul searching and begin to have some introspection and retrospection towards how we can get off some of these things. You just made an example of the New Zealand Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern. Her body, she knows she cannot take it no more. She has exhausted her mileage and decided to say, Kai, you don't do me. How many of us can do it? How many? It is because they have committed themselves to serving their nation. But because overwhelming majority of us here have committed ourselves in our pockets, we will never drop. We know in a civilized... hello, are you with me?
We're listening.
Go ahead.
Good. In civilized societies, this thing happening with NNPC and CBN, will the heads still be there? Let us be sincere with ourselves. Will CBN go be there? Would the head of NNPC be there? They would have relinquished that. They will say, no. I've failed my people and let somebody come and try. But here they are. They will be reinforcing failure upon failure upon failure. And even if you have to protest that they should go out, they will not go out. So what kind of system are we doing? Are we practicing? A system whereby you will not tell yourself, enough is enough, let me quit, let somebody come and try. We want to this sit-tight attitude. I don't know how it take. I've been in Africa on a follow come. I beg, make una follow come. What they say are on everything are on different. Honestly, I'm hot sometimes.
All right,
Thank you very
Batified.
much for the opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome, Batified Abubakar Ali.
Hello. Hello. Can you move around a bit? Your connection is a bit distorted. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, my brother. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very fine here. What am I King?
Welcome.
Thank you. Please, I want to contribute a little bit. My name is Joseph from Gobalada.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to talk about this Nigerian issue. We have been very good listener. I listen to you this very program now. From morning to night, every day. It has not been an opportunity to call, only today. So thank you for giving me this time today, please.
Go ahead.
Until we stop this politics of religion and namu kills everywhere. Whether you know how to do it or you don't know how to do it, since it is namu, the person is there. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right. Hello. Good afternoon. Okay. Hello.
Hello?
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Itodo and Kim. Yeah, this is Ola, the Indomitable calling from Lube.
All right, Ola.
Yeah, thank you. You see, there's something that I'm going to say now. Let any citizen of this country, man or woman, old or young, professional or non-professional, market woman, a doctor, a media practitioner.
Don't mention all the profession in the country. Get to your point. What is it, Ola?
Now, who can stand up and say that, look, in all his or her dealings, in life, he or she has been 100% upright. If that person can stand up and
Ola,
say,
we are not having that conversation. Which story are you responding to?
I'm driving towards something. I'm not, that's not the conversation. I'm driving towards something. Now, it was this conversation around there. Hello, can you hear me?
We're listening.
Yeah, it was this conversation around what Atiku said and what he didn't say about.
I know. I was waiting for you to just get there on the spot. All of this uprightness is unnecessary.
That's what I'm going to. Now, that if you want to get contracts, deliver your polling unit. I know there's a way, people try to twist issues just to their narrative. The same thing was what they did when they spoke about the issue of vote for the northern candidate or don't vote for the other candidate that was Mr. President. I'm not speaking for Atiku, but the point is that, look, just like you put it, just like you put it out there, look, if you don't deliver your polling unit, if PDP does not come back to power, how will anybody even talk about contract? That was the course of the whole matter now. There's no two way to that. That's what it was trying to say. But because, like I said, people want to kind of twist it the way they want. However, Atiku Abubakar...
Ola, there is no twisting. It's even on record and on tape. Everybody heard what he said. It's left for you to either justify it or call it out for what it is. And the reason why we looked at that is the fact that it has held this country back. We've had, the wrong people handling certain positions just because they needed that bit of settlement after politics.
Now, Kim, sorry, just 10 seconds. I completely agree with you on that. This Ola that's speaking, I'm not that kind of person that goes for mediocrity, and I don't celebrate no failure, honestly. But the point is this: look, it is not against things. There's nothing like how do I put it down? I've actually lost what I actually want to put out there. But the most important thing is this: what he's saying is that before, and I think I has not said the only criterion.
Ola,
that's what I want to say.
Ola,
yeah,
take it easy. You can just drop off your mic.
Okay, that's what I want to say. Just 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, please. I'm begging you. Atiku has not said that the only criterion for you to get contract is when you deliver a polling unit. I don't say that's only.
We didn't say that's what he said. We gave you word for word what was said. We analyzed what we got from what he said. What you are saying is all over the place. Ola, thank you very much. We appreciate you for calling. I understand it's a difficult one to defend, seeing that you are a strong supporter of that political party. But remember, we didn't even narrow the conversation just to what PDP is saying, but appreciating the fact that this has been a constant in the country, in spite of what political party presidential candidate said it. And that's something we need to correct and have that conversation as a nation.
So whether or not you deliver on your polling unit or not, if you are fit for a role, you would get it. And if you don't deliver, the honorable thing to do is to resign and, go take your rest. But we'll go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll take more of your thoughts across our platforms. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts. And I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.